Hi, I'm Randy Nesse from the Arizona State University Center for Evolutionary Medicine. Our guest today is Mark Stenglein, and we're so glad to have him. He studies viruses from Colorado State University, and I want to know, first of all, how did you get into viruses?
Yeah, so my background is, I was trained originally as a mathematician, and from that I got into computer programming. And I liked certain aspects of being a computer programmer, but what I realized I really liked was doing the parts of my job that I really liked were the problem-solving areas of my job, and I thought those would be what I would be doing more often if I was a researcher. So I decided
So
to
you were in industry for a while.
Yeah, I was actually worked for in aerospace engineering for 7 years. It's basically
Not very many people do that kind of thing for a few years and then come back to the academy.
Yeah, and I think it worked out really well for me. I actually think I got a lot of kind of life skills by working for 7 years. You know, just time management, prioritization.
Did you get your PhD before that or after?
No, after that. So I actually didn't do didn't know much about viruses while I was doing that, didn't know much about biology, but I decided I wanted to go into research, and then when I was looking at research, I decided to focus on biology, because to me that seemed to be the most interesting scientific field. And then once I was in biology, I kind of first thought I was going to study human genetics, but then I started learning more about viruses, and they became really fascinating to me. So
there'd be a few thousand people watching this video.
Okay.
This is your 50-second chance to convince them all that they should study virology because it's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Okay. So viruses are amazing tools for learning more about how cells operate. Many of the really important fundamental processes of how cells function have been learned by studying viruses, and that's because viruses are like hijackers of the cell, and so they take over the cell and disrupt the normal processes of how cells function. So that means that viruses are really excellent tools for learning the sort of fine details of how cells operate, because when they disrupt these processes, then you can figure out how they usually work, because now they've been hijacked and perturbed. And so for that reason, viruses have really been really valuable and fascinating tools.
So on a small scale, that's what we do in the rest of medicine. I mean, what physiology does is take something out and see what's broken,
right,
in order to see what it's for.
Yeah.
And viruses do that on the level of the cell.
That's right. And so once I started learning more and more about viruses, I just became more and more fascinated with them and decided I wanted to study them for the rest of my career.
Nice. Let's go on to talk about some specific viruses in a second.
Okay.